Thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Wanted to go over a couple other key findings in that Office of Inspector General report, the March 2023 highlights, and just kind of shine a little extra light. And it's look, I know it's not the most exciting news, but we can learn from what we read, whether it's to better prepare, keep our eyes open for things, or whatever it is, right? So my kind of thought here is really this channel is about sharing information that we can utilize. And it's not just, hey, this is how you can increase your rating, right? There's 1,000 videos on that. I've done them myself, and I'll continue to do them on how to increase ratings, the right way to submit your claim, whether you're filing an appeal, all that stuff. But I'm also going to share any other information that I see coming that affects us, whether it's something that gives us as veterans a black eye, or if it's something that the VA is doing that's just wrong, that we need to figure out a workaround on, or if we need to pound on the desk of a congressional member. And so with that, there's a couple other things inside this March 23 highlights from the Inspector General's office. So here I'm going to read a couple highlights. Let's try that again. A couple of the headlines in this document. There's several pages. I think it's like 9 or 10 pages long, and it's basically a headline and then like a good paragraph. So I'm going to read some of the headlines just so you can get a kick out of that, but I'm not going to read everything. I'm only read a couple of the interesting ones that I found interesting anyway. So here we go. At the very beginning, just so you're aware, it says Office of Investigations of the Office of the Inspector General. It says this office investigates potential crimes and civil violations of law involving VA programs and operations concerning VA employees, contractors, beneficiaries, and other individuals. These investigations focus on a wide range of matters, including healthcare, procurement, benefits, construction, and other fraud, cybercrime, and identity theft, bribery and embezzlement, drug offenses, and violent crimes. The following investigations had significant developments this month. So a whole wide range of things. And I will say to you this, in the event that you are going through the VA process for anything, and if you feel there is something that is not right and you really kind of have some strong facts on your side, don't be shy of sharing it with the IG. I mean, why not, right? You got to bring this stuff to light. So here's a couple things of the headlines, which are, I feel like I'm, it's almost comical except for the fact that it's real. Former VA employee sentenced in connection with a medical supply bribery scheme. I'll read that again. Former VA employee sentenced in connection with a medical supply bribery scheme. Then there's a whole paragraph about it. Next one. Pharmaceutical executive. That's my blank stare. Pharmaceutical executive pleaded guilty to conspiring to sell excessively priced COVID-19 PPE, the personal protective equipment, to the VA. No kidding, right? Jeez, what a nightmare. And then there's a paragraph, beyond that. Let's see here. Former VA Medical Center supervisor charged for a role in bribery scheme. Ridiculous. Next one. 2 former VA nurses made false statements regarding patient's death. This one is pretty frightening. So I'm going to read this real quick. It's a pretty short 4-line paragraph here. 2 former registered nurses at Oklahoma City VA Medical Center made false statements to investigators related to the suspicious death of an inpatient veteran. Specifically, they stated that they did not pause medication being administered to the veteran prior to his death. Both nurses pleaded guilty in the Western District of Oklahoma to false statements. The VA OIG investigated the case. So what that tells me, right, is they stated that they did not pause medication being administered to the veteran prior to his death, which means that it was the opposite of that they did pause the medication that that veteran was on prior to his death. Now, what comes of that, all right, I don't know. I don't know what kind of medication this was. Could that cause a death? I mean, there's a lot of information left down to this, but I will tell you that that is no bueno, right? That is a horrific circumstance where you have two former VA nurses that made false statements regarding a patient's death, right? So important to know. And it's also, so although it's extremely horrific, the good news is that at least somebody cares. Somebody said something to the IG, and IG investigated it. So very important. Now, I don't know, what the outcomes are, right? I mean, they're not going to share everything. Next headline. Navy doctor, so a Navy doctor, admitted to role in life insurance fraud scheme. You think you'd know better. Don't do that. Next one. This is, again, a headline. Spouse of a veteran sentenced for compensation benefits fraud. Okay? Let's go ahead and read that one. The spouse of a veteran sentenced for compensation benefits fraud. All right. According to an investigation by the VA, OIG, and Social Security Administration, OIG, a veteran fraudulently sought and subsequently received a 100% disability rating with special monthly compensation benefits for the alleged loss of the use of both feet based on false statements made during his military out-processing physical and subsequent VA examinations. Based on alleged false statements made by the now deceased veteran, his spouse, the veteran also received Social Security disability payments and VA grants for specially adapted housing and automobile adaptive equipment. After receiving a home from a private charity in 2013, multiple witnesses, local media, and investigators observed the veteran walking, driving, performing yard work, and playing basketball. The total loss of more than $582,000 to the VA, nearly $152,000 to the Social Security Administration, and $339,000 to the private charity. The veteran's spouse was sentenced in the Western District of Texas to 46 months imprisonment, 36 months supervised release, restitution of more than $501,000, trial expenses of $100,000, and a fine of $1,800 after previously being found guilty at trial on various related charges. So, yeah, don't scam the VA. Number one, and if you do, I hope you get shafted like this, right? Because this is the stuff that makes it hard for everybody else, whether it's you're getting help from a charity, you're getting help from the VA, you're getting help from the Social Security, right? If we could all be honest and just be truthful, right? All I say is be truthful. And I'll tell you, the one thing for us as veterans, we often downplay our symptoms, and it's part of our military kind of upbringing, right? So going through military, whether it's boot camp, schools, your active duty time, all of that, everybody knows the same story. I'm not going to, suck it up, whatever, push on, rub dirt on it, drink some water, chew some Motrin, move on. So with that comes that idea of just downplaying whatever you have going on. Hey, you're limping, you okay? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Move on, right? Meanwhile, it's killing you, but you keep pushing on. So all I say is, be at one with yourself for a little bit and really be honest with what bothers you and be aware of your signs, symptoms, durations, all of that stuff, and be honest with it, right? Don't overshoot it. Don't undershoot it. This person obviously playing basketball with the feet issues where they can't, where he can't even use his loss of use of both feet. Come on, really? So, anyway, pretty horrible. Next one here of a, well, you know, I'll end it here. I'll do another video on this, one last video on the OIG stuff, just because it's interesting. So thanks again so much for watching. I appreciate you. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.